Men have egos.
It's like stealing a chocolate bar out of a candy store versus stealing a bank. Like
robbing a bank.
Come on.
Right. Sorry.
What?
It was your question.
You asked your question, and we're answering it.
What's
no question?
Podcast topics like Jesus Christ.
No, but it's, I get
levels.
where you're coming from, but it's not the same thing. It's not.
Come on.
I'm dead.
Wow.
That's kind of true.
That is true, though.
It is.
It's very true.
Whack.
It really is.
You don't even like lemon pepper wings.
I don't.
But I would like.
Oh, we both. You don't like them either. You're my sis.
I don't like lemon, but I think that's like.
You like lemon pepper?
I don't mind it.
They don't really do nothing for me.
I think that's a flavor that could go without. Like, I don't need to.
And even when people cook with the lemon pepper seasoning.
Why?
Why?
What is that? You can't just squeeze a little lemon, add a little pepper. You need an actual season, right? Like, I never understood that.
So you don't like the dry rub?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I'd rather use my fresh ingredients. Give me my limon, you know?
Maybe that's a Spanish thing.
It is, yeah.
Right?
I use lemon pepper
Powdered
seasoning.
lemon. But powdered lemon? What is that doing?
Adding a little
It don't.
lemon
Yeah,
zing.
it don't hit the same. It don't even taste the same. Lemon and pepper separately, like together, it tastes weird. It tastes like a new invention. Like, I don't know how to explain it.
It's dry.
It don't taste right. But anyway, we're gonna start off like this.
Wow, whatever.
Can y'all hear me? Everybody good? All right.
Yeah, we
so, I want to make sure you can hear the music. Okay, good. All right, so we got to talk over the music a little bit. But anyway,
That's fine.
this is how we starting off the pod. A little Keisha Cole, so you already know what kind of vibe
I know.
this episode
I'm
is gonna
ready.
bring. Welcome to another episode of the Least Favorite Podcast. I am your host, Natalie, and I'm here with my big sister, Priscilla, and my friend, Cynthia. So we're going to talk our shit, unfiltered.
Always.
I want you guys to be relaxed and just don't hold back. All right, so the first thing I wanted to start off with is fighting styles. So I read an article, and it was talking about the different fighting styles in a relationship. So I chose the top 3. The first one is when you're passive aggressive with your partner. So you do little shit here and there to let them know that you're upset, but then when they ask you what's wrong, oh, nothing.
Yeah,
I'm fine, I'm good. I think we all do that a little bit. Then the next one is hostile and volatile. So you just go in.
No, I used to be that way.
So you're just a bitch. You go in, you're screaming, your partner's coming at you. There's no guessing if they're upset.
Yeah, so I used to do that. But because my husband and I are so self-developed now, before we got into our relationships together, we were friends for a long time. So we already knew what we wanted and what we didn't want out of our relationship when we got together. He was like that in previous relationships, and I was a raging bitch in all my relationships. And we said that when we were going to come together that we were not going to be that way with one another because essentially that wasn't going to bring anything good. So we don't do that. Thank God, because girl.
The other one was not engaging at all. So you completely, like your partner could go in and you just shut down. You don't say anything. You don't engage with them. You don't make any comments to expand it, which I feel like I was in a relationship like that, whereas like I would. All right, first off, I'm passive aggressive.
I know you are, right?
Like I will be mad and I won't tell you, and then finally, when I can't take it anymore, I'm just gonna explode, and it's gonna be bad for everybody. But for me, whether I was passive aggressive or I exploded, I was not getting anything from the partner.
Of course not.
Like they wouldn't engage at all, and it would just be something where I feel like if you don't give me anything at all, I will cut the shit, and I'll be like, all right,
I won't.
Let me chill. So you don't do that?
I won't, because then I'll feel like in the moment, I feel that the partner not giving me any feedback, and I'm like upset, and I'm telling you how I feel. I'm just the type of person, I want to get it off my chest. I want to tell you how I feel in the moment. I don't want it to linger. I don't want it to be that this argument carries on for like 4 days.
Okay.
Let's just say what we got to say and get over it. But if I'm doing that and you're not giving me anything in return, it's going to piss me off even more. Like, I'm just going to be like, oh, so you're not going to talk. Because, no, seriously.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to feel like my feelings aren't being validated. Like, you don't really care enough to even tell me, stop, or babe, relax, or don't be that way. You're just quiet. So now I'm really going to go in your ass and be like, oh, so you want to be quiet now. You know, like, nah. Sorry.
I've been all three.
I I think we all have, right?
Yeah. So what's your main one you feel like you are?
Currently?
Yeah.
None.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like... So I've been single for a long time. I want to say about maybe 4 years.
Okay.
Give or take. So...
Oh, yes.
Working on my inner self.
No, and that's important.
No, it is important.
Very.
I've learned not to be that way. You know, the passive aggressive, communicate when something bothers you at the moment. Don't hold it, because then that's gonna happen. You're gonna end up blowing up.
Right.
Or going in it already aggressive. Because I feel like when you go in it aggressive, the other person's gonna shut down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or they might reciprocate it back.
And then nothing gets solved.
And then
Nothing.
And then you're not gonna, get anything from that. And what is the third one?
It was like
Not saying anything at all?
Not saying anything at all.
I've done that too.
Yeah.
And then it just feels like the other person is just going at it, and then I'm like not giving any feedback or anything, and then you still don't resolve anything. I feel like
nothing
from all
does
three.
resolve.
Yeah.
Nothing.
But I feel like if somebody's coming at me, like if they're the hostile one, I guess I shut down. I get why people shut down, because it's like, yo, if I say something, it might make it worse. So let me just shut the fuck up. Let me not say anything.
Right.
And then it'll blow over. I think I prefer that, just because if the other person's really hot and I don't give them anything to keep going with, they can kind of like release everything they need to release.
And calm down.
And like get that energy off, and then they have to sit with the fact that they just looked like an asshole. Like they have to sit with the fact that they just went in, they came at you, and now they come back and they're like, yo, my bad, like I was wrong, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said blah blah blah, and you didn't even have to say anything or get worked up.
But that's assuming that they even do that.
If they do that,
they reflect.
Yeah.
You're assuming that they're gonna reflect.
And because a lot of times they don't reflect, and then they don't even understand why you're quiet and why you're looking at them a type of way, because to them that's just how they are.
But you see,
their
with
life.
that, you take note of it, and you like if they keep on doing that and then they don't, like you said, reflect or make that change, I'm not gonna stay in that relationship.
Right.
Because you're just a person who likes to go in. Like it's like you're kind of abusive at that point. That's how I see it.
That is abuse.
And I'm not gonna stay in a situation where I'm always feeling unsafe. I'm afraid to say something to set you off.
Yeah, like you're walking on eggshells.
Yeah, fuck that.
But you see, I feel like staying quiet and waiting for the person to like calm down and then reflect is the mature thing to do.
It is.
I didn't do that.
Yeah.
If you're coming at me aggressive, I'm gonna come back the same way. You're gonna get the same energy back. But I used to be like that.
Yeah.
I'm not like that anymore.
Yeah, I'm not like that anymore either,
Yeah.
because I realized that that's not the situation that I want to have with anybody.
Yeah.
And that's not something I want my kids to see, because I don't want them to ever think, especially my son, I don't want him to ever think that it is okay for a man to speak to a woman like that, or for a woman to speak to a man like that. And now that I have a daughter, I don't ever want her to think it's okay for a man to talk to her like that either.
Yeah.
So I definitely have worked on myself, because nothing's gonna get resolved ever.
So when you're trying to figure out your fighting styles, right? And then you're making the changes, like you said, you made changes to avoid arguments. You had mentioned walking on eggshells.
Yeah.
So that was a point that you had brought up, how in relationships a lot of times you'll let a lot of things slide just to avoid an argument, and then you end up walking on eggshells, and then it's like pent-up resentment.
Because now the person is doing something to you. You're not saying anything because, okay, y'all already just had an argument a couple of days ago. So you're like, all right, we just finished arguing. I don't want to start another argument with him, so I'm going to just let it be. Then he does it again, because he doesn't know that what he just did pissed you off, because you didn't say nothing about it. Then he does it again, and it keeps on happening. And now you blow up, and they're looking at you like you're crazy. Because they're like, but why are you getting like that? Like, I've done this to you like 5-6 times already. You never said anything.
Yeah.
Why didn't you say anything? But then in that respect, it's like, you didn't say nothing because you knew if you did, either they weren't gonna validate, like they weren't gonna accept how you felt, or they were just gonna argue with you, and you just wasn't with it.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's any way for any relationships to go, because it's like, if you can't tell your partner what they're doing to you is wrong, or that you feel a type of way because of what they did to you, then why are you with that person?
Yeah.
Because essentially, y'all not gonna get nowhere. Like,
but you know, with me, like, I used to argue a lot, like very argumentative all the time. So what I do now, I filter my thoughts, and I tell myself, is it even worth bringing up?
That's what I do.
Is it worth an argument?
Yeah.
Because everybody's different. Just because we're together, it doesn't mean you have to behave the same way. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So your reaction might be completely different. So something like, maybe I react quicker than you, and that will get me upset, like just that alone.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, react? Why you're not reacting?
But that was the same way. And I had to realize that not everybody's going to have the same energy that I have.
Exactly.
And not everybody is going to react to situations the way that I do. So in my previous relationships, I used to get upset if they didn't react to something the way that I did.
Yeah, me too.
And then I had to understand, Priscilla, you're you. Like, you can't expect somebody to be you.
It's hard, though.
I know, but
It's difficult.
it's not fair to the other person. It's not. So it's like it comes with you, like, understanding the person that you're with too, and understanding, like, okay, they're not perfect. Mm-hmm. It's like I expect everybody to be perfect.
Yeah,
I wasn't perfect. Mm-hmm. Nobody's perfect. But when you look at it and you're like, damn, your partner does certain things, it kind of just goes out. You're like, all right, I'm not gonna like keep attacking them over nonsense because that's just how they are, or that's just, maybe they're not seeing it the way that I'm seeing it. Mm-hmm. Maybe they're not reading too into it the way that I'm reading too into it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I've learned to ask, like, before, well, I'm still working on it because I'm not perfect. Because I'm very reactive too, but I've learned to ask, like, all right, if something bothered me, I ask two things. One, I ask myself, why does it bother me so much? Like, how is it really affecting me? Like, because it's really probably not 9 times out of 10. And two, I would even ask my partner, like, hey, you said this way, or you did this that way. Why did you do that? Like, I'm just trying to understand, like, what was your point? Like, were you trying to be aggressive? Were you trying to come at me? Or were you joking? Like, what made you do that? And then when you get a better understanding and you just have that conversation, it's like, oh, okay, like, it really had nothing, it wasn't personal. Like, it had nothing to do with me.
And a lot of times they didn't do it on purpose. Yeah. I used to think everybody was trying to come for me.
Yes.
Even in my relationship.
Yes, me too.
And I remember my mother telling me, like, you got to stop viewing people as your enemy. Not everybody's your enemy. Not everybody's coming for you. Not everything is about you.
I would always be on the fence.
Always.
All the time.
Always.
Where did that come from?
I have no idea.
Is it a woman thing?
No.
Yes.
I think that You know what I think that comes from? That comes from previous relationships. I feel like that comes from
but I feel like
unresolved anger, or you always having to be on the defense because you're with a partner that always makes you feel like you have to be. If you had a partner like that. If you had a partner like that. Or even if in your life experience, like if you always felt like you had to fight for everything. Yeah. Like there was always some obstacle coming in your way and you always had to just fight your way to get to where you wanted to be. I feel like it comes from that. Like you always feel like you have to be. Yeah,
because I was about to say, I'm not like that just in relationships. The defense, the being defensive is like with everybody. With even everything. At work.
Oh, at work, definitely.
Yeah, but even at work, I was like that. Like, what do you mean? Why you said that?
Yeah.
Well,
and that's probably because you've had past experiences where you felt like, or you've had people come for you. So you automatically think that if somebody said that one word, you automatically bring it back to when another person did that to you and they was coming for you, and someone else could be saying it, but they don't mean it that way. They're just like, no, chill, ma. I don't mean it like that.
Yeah.
Relax.
And then I feel like a dick because I'm like, fuck.
All right. Well, I just wanted some clarification. So. I just wanted to make sure.
But definitely like what you said about work, because we worked in the same place, and sometimes one person might not be coming for you, but the other person is. So you still got to be on guard.
You on guard because you don't know.
It's true.
And some people try to be slick with it too. They try to be like,
they try to be the passive aggressive. Like, I didn't mean it like that.
I didn't mean it like that, mama. Why you acting like that?
I hate that.
First of all, don't be that, or when they tell you to calm down. But why you acting like that? Oh no, mama, calm down. But you don't have to be that way.
Yeah, just relax.
You want to see me on 10? Tell me to relax and tell me to calm the fuck down, and you're gonna see.
You're not gonna say something snippy and then pull back from it.
Be like, oh, but why? Oh no, look at how you getting. No, don't do that.
So now, when you argue and your partner apologizes, you mentioned something about like, why shouldn't we just be able to move on? Like, why do we still hold on to the hurt? But go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I just feel like if you're still holding on to the hurt, and I had said this last week too, like, it's because you're not over it. Right. But then my question was like, how long is it really going to take you to get over it until you either realize you're either going to get over it or you're just going to leave the person altogether?
I think it all depends on the person's behavior. So, you can have I always say, you don't know your partner until you argue with your partner.
Oh, that's so true.
You don't, or even a friend, like, or a friend, anybody, a family member, like, you don't know a person until you've actually had a discussion, exchanged words, have come to that point. So I feel like,
to see how far they're gonna take it.
Exactly. So I
also feel temptation. When you're under temptation.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's when you really know when the person, like, so let's say for an example, I don't know, we're doing something we're not supposed to be doing, like an illegal activity or something.
Right. How excited it makes that other person.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Or let's say for an example, like, you're under But yeah, that's a big deal.
That is a big deal. And I feel like when you arguing with a person and you see how far they take it, I mean, yeah, they could say sorry, but now you're still thinking about everything that they've said.
Yeah.
And I feel like words could really, you could cut somebody just with your words.
Yeah.
Honestly. And it doesn't matter if you tell the person 20 times I'm sorry, they're still going to always remember what you said to them.
That's true.
And they're always going to still be thinking and looking at you sideways like, no, but you really feel that way about me because you were that comfortable to tell me. And I'm your girl or you're my man, whatever the case is, situation. But how could you feel that way about me? So when we argue, I'm a stupid bitch, I'm this, I'm that.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
that's what you really think of me?
Stupid bitch is tough.
Girl.
If somebody called me that, I don't know if we could come back from that.
Let me tell you something. The first time that I was in a relationship and someone called me a bitch, I feel like I got stabbed in the chest.
Right.
Ooh,
it hurts.
what was that?
And
Where did that come from?
And I feel like it hurts more from the person that you're with, because especially if y'all never argued before and you never saw that side of that person, and then y'all argue and they saying all these things, you're like, well, damn.
Yeah.
It hurts more than a stranger calling you a bitch, because you don't have no ties to that person.
Yeah, and that whole I was just mad, like, I don't know.
I don't know about
I
that.
understand.
Probably just mad.
Stupid bitch.
Stupid bitch.
I don't know, man.
That's
You
intense.
a dumbass bitch.
Yeah,
No,
like
that's too much. That's disrespectful.
That's just
You could have said
disrespect.
something else. Be creative.
Right.
Like, you could have said something else.
Oh, I could be
Oh, when they try
creative.
to say shut the fuck up,
Yeah, I don't like
I'm
that.
not gonna shut the fuck up. So no, we're gonna both keep talking, and because it is what it is. But I feel like once you start using terminology like that in a relationship, there's no respect,
There's no, yeah.
No.
and it doesn't matter how much that person loves you, they don't respect you,
There's
and
no
you don't
coming back
respect
from
them.
that.
There isn't. After a while, that's just causing pent up resentment. So eventually, that's what causes women and men to leave relationships.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, but how come you guys was together for so many years? How come y'all broke up? Because of the pent up resentment.
Yeah.
Of all the fuck yous and suck my dick and bitch and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
all of that is a lot. It's a
I
lot.
always say, like, the best apology is changed behavior.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Period. Like, I don't give a
Absolutely.
fuck what you're telling me to my face.
Right.
I want to see what you're going to do now.
Yeah.
What is the action every day? And it's like, neither one of us is perfect. Like, I'm going to fuck up, you're going to fuck up. And it's going to be an ongoing thing. Like, we're never going to always be happy. There's
Never.
always going to be
There's
arguments.
always going to be, right.
Petty stuff you could ignore, you can move past. But, like, what I'm not going to let you do either is hold shit that I've done against me.
Yes.
If I'm showing you different today.
There you go.
Today, tomorrow, moving forward. If I'm consistent, I'm behaving well or whatever the fuck. Stop bringing up the bullshit. Stop
Right,
bringing up the past.
right,
Like,
right.
that I'm not going to let you
No.
keep holding against me. Like, I'm not my mistakes.
Exactly.
And I'm not going to let you tell me that I am
That's
those
right.
things.
That's right.
No, because that's
Yeah,
like
right.
the most frustrating.
Yes.
Can we get a clap?
Yes.
Can we? Right.
No, but it's true, because you could be with somebody and, like, all right, you fucked up, but you apologize.
Right. And you're
Why
doing
do I?
what you
Yeah,
need
why
to.
I don't want to keep hearing it over and over again. And I've learned, because I used to do that a lot too in my
Me too.
relationships, and it's just so
Me too.
unfair for the other person too, and you could see the frustration.
And it's
they're
unfair,
not trying to hear it,
right? And it's unfair if they're actually, like you said, they're taking the action to show you that they've
Yeah.
changed. But a lot of times they don't. So you're not gonna be buying me flowers every time you mess up.
Yeah.
And think
That's
that
the
because
thing.
I accepted the flowers, okay, now we good. No. And then you're gonna do the same shit. No.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Take your
alright.
flowers.
Let me.
Yeah,
I'm the
that's the
only
male
guy
here.
in the room.
Sorry.
Interject.
But I'm the guy, and I don't argue in relationships. I don't.
And
Like,
that's not healthy.
it is
It's not.
because.
But go ahead, talk.
No. I'll discuss something and talk, but I mean, I'm not arguing. I'm not
Okay,
coming out
okay,
my face calling
okay.
you like all
Oh, no,
kind of
stupid
crazy
bitch.
names.
Okay.
No stupid bitch.
You know what I mean? Because
No, but I don't mean argue like cursing. I mean just like having that
having
exchange.
a
I'll have a
disagreement.
back and forth
So
discussion,
you're having
but I'm
exchange.
not about to curse you out and all that stuff because
Right,
I know
right.
me.
Right.
When I do it, I can't come back the next day.
Right.
For one, I don't like apologizing. If I sent it, I meant it.
Gotcha.
So if I say it to you, it's fuck you.
Okay.
And me apologizing is really just like, you know what? Let's just move on from it. Like I said it, I meant it at that time. I'm not really an apologizer, so that's why I know in a relationship, it's like I'm not gonna even let it get to that point.
Right.
Because once you get there and
No,
try
but
to
that's
come
what
back,
I'm saying. Once
yeah.
you get to that point, there's really no coming back because your partner's already looking at you like, oh, well, this is how you feel.
Yeah.
But I make it my point when I see if I'm with the woman and she starts getting to that point or it gets escalating, I'm just like, you know what? Let me remove myself.
And that's
Yeah.
how me and Chris
That's
are.
important,
So
yeah.
Chris knows me well enough that when I'm upset, like I've gotten to the point, I'm very self-developed now. Because you know how I used to be.
I know.
You know, it was
Scary.
a problem. And he knows how I used to be because he was my best friend. So he used to know my arguments. He used to hear, I never used to hide anything from him. I used to call him and be like, let me tell you what this nigga did, blah, blah, blah. And he would tell me his situations. And with him, like, if, you know, because, yeah, we've been together, we love each other, but couples have arguments.
Of course.
But I have learned to woosah. I have learned to communicate. I have learned to not be a raging bitch. Mm-hmm. And he also knows that when I'm on here, he knows to just chill.
Yeah.
Let me just give her space. Let me just leave her alone. Before, it would bother him because he didn't understand why I would get the way that I would get. But now he's okay.
And you appreciate the space? Because some women, like, I'm learning to take the space, but before it was like, oh, so now you don't want to be around me?
Right.
What?
Like, now you want to leave? You want to abandon me?
Like, he used to walk out. He used to walk away because I was at a 10.
Yeah.
And I would chase him.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, that's like even worse.
I would chase them. Like, where are you going? Mm-hmm. And they would,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There's no way to, like, bring that down after that, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, once I feel myself like I'm chasing you like that, that's when I have to check myself, like, all right.
Calm down.
Calm the fuck down.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on. Because you just hated him 5 minutes ago and now you chasing him out the door.
Don't leave me, come back.
Yeah. You gotta relax.
That's crazy. Right.
So do we have anything else to say about that? Because we're about to switch into other topics.
No, I think.
All right, so I'm gonna play this. Can you hear it?
Oh, yes.
Just a little transition song to get us moving. All right, so we're gonna get into some friendship and mental health topics. All right, so I wanted to ask, have your friends changed as you were growing up? So, like, the kind of friends that you make from when you were younger to now.
Yeah.
How has it changed? What qualities do you look for now in a friend versus, I guess, before when you were younger?
I guess before, when I was younger, everybody was my friend. You little, you're young, even in high school, like, oh, that's my homegirl, that's my friend. Now it's like, no. Like, I only have, like, a handful of, especially females, that I consider to be my friends.
I have two, and that's it.
Well, I'm older than you.
Yeah, that's it. But you know what? Growing up, you always had a lot of girlfriends. Because remember in high school?
Yeah, but like I said, everybody was my friend. And nobody was really my friend.
But even now.
But now, like, I have a handful. I have a good amount. Mm-hmm. And these are people that have been there for me at my lowest. To me, I feel like in order for me to consider you to be my friend, like, you have to have been rocking with me when I was at my lowest rock bottom point, and you were there for me, and you wasn't talking shit about me. You wasn't laughing at my pain. You were crying with me. You know, that's what I consider a friend. Mm-hmm. Before, it was just like, oh, that stupid shit. Like, no. So I have a few. But it's definitely changed. I look more for loyalty, and like I said, like, people that I can count on, that I could be like, yo, we out. Yeah. And they coming.
Yeah.
Those are my friends.
Mm-hmm. I was going to say that too, loyalty.
Right,
loyalty.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think when you're younger, you don't realize how important loyalty is until you start getting into shit. Because in high school, there's gossip, there's rumors.
Always. So
that's when you see, oh, this bitch, she talking mad shit. Right. This isn't my friend. But you don't realize that until you have, like, the experience.
And who allows people to talk shit about you in front of them? Mm-hmm. Like, I know any of my friends, if somebody talks shit about me, they checking them right there. Yeah. And they telling me right there, like, yo, come here. Because homegirl tried to get crazy and try to say this and this and this. That's a friend. Mm-hmm. I feel like if you are friends, if you consider yourself to be a friend and you allow somebody else to talk shit about you in the moment, you're not a friend. Yeah. You're not a friend.
Yeah. What else was I going to say? For me, though, the friends I make, they have to come to me kind of, because I'm not, like, outgoing with people.
I know. And you know what? I find that so hard to, like...
What do you mean you're not outgoing?
I'm not the person, like, I don't force... Well, I guess it's that I don't force a friendship. I don't force a vibe. So...
It's a little harsh. Sorry.
I'm like, is it me?
It's not you.
Like, all the friends... When I think of...
It's the hookah. Which I'm here for the hookah, guys. I came for the
not
hookah.
To talk her shit on a podcast. She came to smoke hookah on the podcast.
I came to smoke hookah and talk shit.
All right. Okay. That's better.
Yes.
I'm saying, like... My friends, the friends I have, they all approached me. They all spoke to me. And I was just, I'm not trusting of people. Okay. I'm more reserved. So I'm not quick to just, like, let my guard down and open up to just anybody. And I feel like now that I'm older it's not as easy for people to actually sit down and get to know you.
Yeah,
they're not really
it's harder.
they're not really putting that time in. It's like, I'm already quiet, I'm already reserved, and now we're not even in a social setting. I'm not in a social setting all the time to make new friends. So for me, it's just like, whoever can actually take the time and sit and get to know me and like break down those barriers that I have or the walls that I put up, that's who I consider a friend, because they were able to like penetrate through that. You know what I mean? So for me, like, obviously loyalty and all that, but it's like when I could finally feel comfortable to be myself around you, you're my friend. Like,
well, I'm myself around everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
We friends. Well, I just met you today. This is me. That's just how I am.
Yeah,
I've always been like that. And I know that even when you were younger, Natalie was the type that she wouldn't even say hi to people. Like, as a baby. Like, my mother would be like, pero saluda, say hi. And Natalie was turning her head like, no. From age 2, 3, 4, 5, like, she was always like that.
Yeah.
I wasn't like that.
Yeah, I was always the friendly, talkative, real cosa, but she's always been the opposite.
So, like, Tony, who's one of my best friends, I remember 9 years old, like, no, were we 9? 4th grade? I think you're 9. She was the one who came up to me, tapped me on the shoulder, hi, I'm Tony, what's your name? And then it was like, okay, this is my friend. And she would be talking, and I'm just there like, oh, okay, whatever. Okay. And it's been like that. With Susan, it was like that. All my friends, it's been like that. Even Kadeem, my first day in Costco, I sat down, he sat in front of me, hi, I'm Kadeem, what's your name? I'm like, oh okay, we're gonna be friends. Like, it is, because I'm not like that. So yeah, that's it. But
even when you told me the other day, because me and her got into it, because she was like, I'm an introvert. I was like, no, you're not.
I feel like I am.
Because Natalie, like, I guess, because I always see her out and she's social and she's
with the same people though. I'm out with the same people I've been out with for the past 10 years.
I don't get introvert vibes from her. Yeah. Because I feel like even though they're people that you know, you wouldn't even be willing to be out here brunch and let's have drinks and let's do this. Like, I feel like you are social.
You could be a social introvert. There's a such thing as
like that.
Oh.
You could be a social introvert, and you could be a shy extrovert. Like
Chris is a shy extrovert.
Are you a person when you go out, right? Kind of off topic. When you go out, do social settings drain you or uplift you? Because that's how you can tell. That's how you can tell.
So my battery runs out in the middle of it.
Okay.
Let's say we'll go out to brunch. The first hour, I'm like, yeah.
Me too.
And then like an hour later, I'm like, you'll see it though. Like, you'll visibly be able to see, like, I'm shutting down. And you're like, you all right? I'm like, no, I gotta go. This music is too loud.
Right.
It's called
the
old
music
age.
all over. Okay.
No, because that's me.
All of a sudden got too loud.
Yeah, but Natalie.
That's why I'm saying I'm an introvert, because it drains me. It doesn't uplift me.
Okay.
That's my point.
All these people dancing and getting drunk.
But Natalie always like needed a nap. She always.
I need a nap.
I always need a nap in the middle of a brunch.
I need a nap.
Always needed a nap. Even when we would go shopping, she always needed a bench. She always needed to sit.
Oh, the first bench, I'm sitting down.
Oh my God, I'm like that.
Sitting down. Yes, I can't.
I hear you.
Oh my God, hold on. Where were we?
I was gonna say what? But you can be extrovert, like an extrovert, go out, be social with everyone. But you can only do it with people you feel comfortable with.
Yes. Feel comfortable
so with. Me and new friends is where you're an introvert. You're not the type of person that's just gonna go out to say a bar and you see a group of people and like just introduce yourself.
Well, that's weird. That's weird.
Because I feel like they would look at me like, who the fuck is this?
There's lots of people who can do that.
I know. And no offense to those kinds of people.
No, those people, all right, I need those people in my life because otherwise I won't engage.
Well, like, they come up to you and they're like, hi, my name is Fulanita.
That takes a lot of balls though to do that. To come up to another person.
It is.
And we need those people in the world. People like that.
Right.
We need them for people like me.
Right.
Because then for all of us. Because I'm open to the conversation. I'm just not going to initiate it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because I don't want to be the one to be like, oh, but look at this bitch. Why did she
I don't want to look like the crazy one. Right. Just going up to me.
That's loca.
A certain kid, right? There's a kid, young, 8 years old. He walks everywhere.
Talking about my child.
Whenever he walks anywhere, he sees any other kid. Hi, kid. Like, hi.
And you know what?
He could see the kid 100 times throughout the day and it's still bye or hi. Like, he's the first time he sees them.
That's cute.
I think that's beautiful.
It is.
Even though I get at him and I be like, stop saying hi 20 times to people. Like, you say hi once and that's it. But it's nice that he still has that innocence because you don't see that a lot in children.
You don't.
But it's scary that he has that innocence because of the world that we live in. It's like people could take advantage of that.
Yeah.
So I try to teach him, but it's just in him. He'll say hi and bye 20 to the same person.
I feel like it's a New York thing too. Because I've been to other places, like in
friendly.
Puerto Rico. Everybody, they don't know you and you're walking down the street and they're like, buenos dias. And I'm like, That.
Right.
Like, and I look at my aunt like, you know her? She's like, no.
But people say hi, right?
Yeah, like people
it's
say
okay.
hi. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, it's okay.
Not in New York, you right.
Yeah,
Nobody's
New York
doing that
thing.
here.
And you go to the supermarket and people are like, hi, good afternoon, how are you?
Yeah.
How you doing today? And it's like, I'm not used to that.
And it's sad. You know, it's sad that we're not used to stuff like that. You know, that we go away and we're like, oh my God, everybody's so nice. And everybody in New York is just assholes. Like,
Yeah,
why?
but you know, it's sad, but also I don't want to go my whole day saying hi to everybody.
Here we go.
Like, I'm fine. I'm totally fine walking down the street and nobody giving a fuck about who I am.
Right. Now you.
I'm okay with that too.
I don't want to be
I don't know
bothered.
if that's a good thing, but I'm okay with
I'm
that
okay
too.
with it. I want to listen to my music or scroll through my phone as I walk.
But
like,
it's not bad.
Now that you say that,
It's not bad,
That
but-
you just want to walk. Have you ever seen somebody in the street that you know and you pretend you don't know who they are?
all the fucking time because I don't want to say hi.
And
I'm living in
I'll
that
pretend I'll get on my
situation now.
phone, like deep into my phone, and I really just
You
don't
even
want to
like
say
start
hi.
looking confused in the phone.
Yeah.
Like, oh, but what?
I think COVID was the best. I'm not gonna say the best thing because you know people.
No, it had its perks though.
But the perks with the
had
mask
its
and
perks.
not really just
Nah,
putting
but
on
people
your mask and
recognize
your
me
hoodie.
still.
And
They
you
still
out.
recognize
Like,
you. I be
And I'll
fronting
be
like,
so
oh, I
deep
didn't
into
even
my-
notice you with the mask.
Girl,
You know,
I
this
didn't
is
even
crazy.
see you because you know the glasses fog up with the mask. I couldn't even see you, but
Meanwhile, you didn't want to see them.
I saw. I just went the other way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good. I don't like that. I've turned away from so many people seeing them, and I'm like, oh shit, go the whole other direction. I will walk extra to avoid you.
Right.
Like, no, I'm good.
Wait, so how do you react when you're out with your crew, but then a new person that's just like there randomly is just like, hey, they just kind of like try to interact with you. Are you at first like, fuck, will they leave me alone? Or it's like, because you're out in that social environment with your friends.
And they just know me.
No, they don't even know you. So like,
just
all right,
kinda-
you three are out right now.
Okay.
You're having a great time. Smoking your hookah, drinking, y'all social, talking, laughing, drinking. I come over and just say, hey, what's up? My name is Anthony. How's everything going? Just making conversation.
I think we'll say hey.
I
Like,
think,
hey.
yeah.
Do you feel comfortable? Like, okay, I can have this conversation? Or are you like,
It depends on the person.
Yeah,
It depends on
Because if
how
you're
you
a fucking
approach,
weirdo,
too.
it's like, get the
Yeah,
fuck
like,
away
go
from
away.
us.
It depends on the kind of energy you're bringing too.
It's true, yeah.
I'm open. I mean, that's
If you're coming,
happened.
because that's happened plenty of times that we have gone
Yeah,
out.
that's
That's
happened.
happened, and we're like, oh hey, you know, they were cool, but
Yeah. Other than that, oh my god, we got off topic. It's okay. So now I wanted to talk about how
Never
mental
enough
health.
topic.
We talking about friendships. How does your mental health affect your friendships and your relationships? Like, if you're depressed or anxious.
right. If you're depressed, like honestly, if you have a friend that's always depressed, always, and you're going out to brunch with people.
I know.
I mean, right. I guess
Quédate
it
en
all
la casa.
depends, right?
Yeah.
Especially.
Oh yeah, don't be a Debbie Downer.
Right.
home.
You know what I mean? And there's just some people like, okay, you try to be there for them. I probably will be there for that friend one-on-one.
Not in a brunch setting.
But I'm
No,
not gonna
not in
be
that- not
calling that
outside.
person like, oh, mama, come, because I already know that that's not their vibe, and I know that by being there, they're not gonna feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And even somebody that's anxious, I'm not gonna bring them to a place where there's a lot of people either, because that's gonna just set their anxiety even more. So I feel like all of that plays a part. I feel like if they're like that, their friends are gonna be less likely to want to hang out with them. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
I had a friend of mine that she was like when I was in college, she was in the like clubbing stages, and she knew not to invite me because that was not my vibe. Like I never went clubbing, so it got to a point like I guess she was just being cordial, you know. She's my best friend. She's like, listen, I'm gonna go out. I'm like, listen, don't even bother.
Okay.
Like, don't waste your time.
Right.
And she never asked me after that because she knew like that would make me anxious. I didn't want to be in a
Okay.
setting where there was a lot of people.
You know what? At least you were
And I don't even like dancing.
At least you were understanding to that. I know people that they take offense.
What?
They still
I know
get mad
people
when
like
you
that.
don't
They
invite
don't
them.
They're
invite
mad
them.
when you don't invite them.
Yes.
where and they say no every time.
Right.
Yeah, it's like, why would I keep inviting you if you always say no?
Or if you, because I used to have this one friend. We're not friends no more, by the way. Anyway, but everywhere we went, she wanted to bring her man.
That's
Girls'
annoying.
night, she wanted to bring her man. And before, when there was like a group that we all were in relationships at this time, it was fine because there was other guys. But then we all became the single girls, and no hate on her. That's her relationship, fine. But if you're not allowed, and I say not allowed because it seemed like she wasn't allowed to hang out with anybody unless her man was like right here sitting on her lap. It was like, we're not gonna invite you because we're single and we're having a good time and we don't need him in the corner giving us a side eye like, oh, that's how your girlfriends act when they hanging out. And she used to take offense when we wouldn't invite her, and we had to tell her one day like, Mija, we want to chill with you, not you and your man.
Yeah.
And if you can't just not chill with him around, then you're gonna
Then
stay
don't
home.
come.
Right. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Because come on.
I feel like you need to know like the setting that you're
She
going
always
into.
found
Like
a
if
way.
we're couples or there is a mix of guys, then you can bring your man
of
with
course.
you. But if it's just girls,
Right.
you can't do that.
And then he was mad weird and creepy. Like he would say certain things and look at you a certain way. Like it just didn't feel right.
Yeah, no.
So be like, nah.
It wasn't even fun. Like,
Because he was
at least
probably
you're
there
gonna
just judging you.
Right.
Yeah. Or probably like...
And then he would talk shit. And then it's like if he knew like that, let's say she happened to go someplace without him, right away he's calling her on FaceTime because he wants to see. And it's like, come on. No.
Yeah, no.
Let's not do that. That's why
Yeah, no.
we're not doing that.
And then, so you had mentioned something about mental health and like the why me complex.
Yes.
So
pretty,
I never heard about why me complex. So
that's my term for
dig
it.
deep.
My term for the why me complex.
Pause. Why do you have to?
I'm sorry.
God.
Completely.
Go ahead.
I pretty much, okay, so those people that always question, why is my life this way? Why this? Why that? And they're people that we have seen, or people that you have been around them, and you know why their life is like that. And either they know or they just don't want to accept why their life is like that. And they're constantly like, oh, everything bad always happens to me and this and that and that. But then all that energy that they're putting to blame why all these bad things happen to them, they don't use that same energy to realize that they're the reason why.
They're the problem.
Everything bad, even in relationships. I know people that continually put themselves in bad relationships. Continuously.
Yeah.
And then they really want to say, oh, I can't believe this nigga did that. And I can't believe this, I can't believe that. But I'm like, all right, well, how many times are you going to keep putting yourself in the same situation?
Yeah.
Before you realize that either this is not good for you, you're attracting the same type of ain't shit person, or you're the problem.
Yeah.
Like at some point you got to say, I'm the common denominator.
I met a person like that though, that I want to say about a year ago, maybe even 2 years, that he will always be negative for everything. For everything, negative. I don't know why this happened to me. I don't know, anything. It was just like the aura, the energy was just off.
Not realizing that all of that brings you negative. Like if you have negative vibes,
and not only that, one time,
vibes.
like, and I try to be positive in situations like that, and I try to bring like the light at the end of the tunnel all the time. And one day he told me, he was like, he mentioned something negative and I mentioned something positive, and he was like, don't come with that positive shit. I don't want to hear that.
That's even worse.
And it's like, what? This is draining me. And that's exactly how I felt. I was like, no, pues jódete entonces.
Yeah, fuck yourself.
Like, go drown in the sorrows.
Have you noticed like certain people drain you?
Yeah.
Yes.
The minute they come around, they don't even say anything, but you just
the
feel
energy.
it. You feel it. You feel it.
What's his name? Eeyore?
Yeah.
Now,
you know that used to be my favorite character, Winnie the Pooh.
I know. I remember that. I like Piglet. He was cute.
So cute.
But what I was gonna say about people like that, a lot of times I feel like it's because like they are addicted to that.
Yes.
They like the drama. They want to be a victim.
Right. They want to be a victim.
Yes. That is a victim mentality. So maybe it's not a why me. It's like a victim mentality. Like, and you try to tell them like, yo, you're choosing to say like, you have control. You have power over your life. Like you don't have to tolerate the shit you're tolerating.
Exactly.
But they're like, oh, I know, but it's because it gives them something to talk about. It's like they command the room with attention because now everybody's pitying them or like trying to give them advice and talk to them and listen to them, and they crave that a little bit. And I'll notice, because I know people like that too, where everything could be going fine and they'll purposely like do something. It's like they hit the domino so that way all of them could like fall. You know that little something. It's just always like they'll find something to do or something to say, and it's just like, oh my God, like those people I can't. I can't.
So we have those people that they wallow in their sorrow, why me? And then you have those people like me and you was talking about earlier.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So
when the good happens.
So for me, I don't want to say it's the why me complex, but I do have to say that when good things do happen, sometimes I'm surprised. Like I'm like, wow, like is this real? Is this really happening to
you
me?
question it.
I question it because I feel like I've been through so much negative experiences that it's almost like, is this real? Or is there a catch to it?
Oh wow.
You understand? Like, is it eventually gonna be down the line? Is it gonna turn around and be something negative? Am I being naive?
Does that change how you treat that person then? Like, do you
self-sabotage?
I do self-sabotage.
But not only to them too. Like, you kind of like, now if they do say something wrong or do something wrong, maybe you either escalate it and blow it up because you're like, oh, I knew it was too good to be true. Like,
right.
Like, do you find yourself doing that or no?
So no, what I do now is I catch myself that I'm self-sabotaging.
Okay.
So I don't comment on it with the other individual because I try to be more self-developed.
Yes.
I try to work on my inner self and I catch myself. Now I catch myself. Before I didn't catch myself.
Okay.
And I would just be like, yeah, I knew it. I knew that was gonna happen. Exactly. Yeah, like I would blow up.
And that makes people run away too. Like,
absolutely.
Like somebody who is self-aware and self-goal-side, and they come into you positive, they love you, they want to be with you, and they constantly see that behavior. They're like, oh no, like that makes people run away. It turns them off.
It is a turn off.
And it's not even like turning them off on purpose. It's subconsciously. They're already turned off because they're like, damn, like nothing I do is gonna make her happy. Everything there's an ulterior motive behind everything.
Yeah.
And they end up leaving, and that the person that's actually doing that is not realizing that could have been your opportunity for happiness, and you just fucked it up.
But you mentioned something that was important earlier, which you said, like the person keeps getting themselves into bad relationships,
right?
And they question why me.
Yeah,
that's something I would do. I was getting myself into relationships that didn't suit me.
There you go.
Because I had rather have bad company than no company.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Because I didn't want to be alone. I didn't know what it felt to be alone.
Right.
So I'd rather just have you there.
Right.
Whether it was negative or positive, which was never really positive.
Right.
But in the beginning, it's positive in the beginning. And then things start to happen. And then you just avoid the red flags or ignore the red flags or just whatever the case might be. But I'd rather had bad company. So this is actually the first time that I've been single this long.
And you know what? That's important because you not being single now, you wouldn't be able to identify that.
No, of course.
Yeah.
And you know what? I've had people tell me that before, but I didn't know how important it was. It's like, when until you don't experience something, you don't really know.
Yeah.
People can tell you whatever they want, but until you don't personally go through it, you have no idea.
And you have to want to go through it.
You have to choose
it. Yeah.
You have to want that. And I felt like until this last relationship I had ended back in, I want to say 2018, I wanted it. I said, I need time for me. I can't be jumping from relationship to relationship because I was noticing as I was doing it, it was getting worse and worse. The partner I kept picking was worse and worse. Right. I'm like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
And I feel like when you don't take that time, because I was the same way, I didn't know how, not that I didn't know what it felt like to be alone. Because I was always in a relationship. I was never single. The minute I would break up with somebody, there was always somebody else that I already had lines up or was already there. I was in a relationship
since high school.
No, because and it wasn't like I did it on purpose. But it was always like that for me. And I felt like in doing that, I never resolved past issues with those relationships. And I kept bringing past issues into my current relationships. Jumping it. So now here I am with my untouched issues, and I'm with a new person, and I'm bringing it all on them, and they're looking at me like I'm crazy. And every relationship was always an issue.
Yes.
And it wasn't until I was single that I was like, yo, let me focus on me. Let me do my self-reflection and let me see where it is that I need to change. What is it that is so scary for me to be alone? And it was because I just didn't like what I saw within myself. And I knew that by being by myself, I was going to see that. And that scared the shit out of me. When you're alone, you're in your thoughts.
Yes.
You don't have somebody else that you're putting your attention to. You don't have somebody else that's taking your focus away. When you're in your thoughts, that's the scariest thing that anybody could ever do is look within themselves, analyze themselves, and work on themselves. That's the hardest thing anybody could do. But you need to. In order to be successful in life, not even in relationships, in your friendships.
I didn't know why I didn't want to be single. I just didn't want to be lonely. Like, now that I'm thinking about it, now that you're mentioning that you knew why.
Right.
All I knew was that I didn't want to be by myself.
I think it's a lot of things. I think I had just recorded something with Anthony about this, but it was basically, do you think it's better to be single with high standards or to settle for less in a relationship?
I think
single with high standards.
That's what I said.
Sure.
But I had mentioned that a lot of times it could be societal pressure too. Like if you're single, it means something. It means you're not chosen. Nobody wants you. You're washed. And then sometimes you end up comparing. Like social media is the worst thing sometimes. Because you compare and you're like, oh my God, like this person is such a happy relationship and she's getting, you know, flowers and romantic dates. And if I'm single, I'm not going to get that. I'm going to be lonely. No one's going to be caring for me.
What's wrong with me that nobody wants to do
that with me? They're only getting that image.
Right.
Exactly. How long does a picture take to take? What, 0.3 seconds?
And then they could be arguing right afterwards.
Yeah.
They could have argued right before that picture. You don't know.
Yeah. I would say, like, in 2020, I ended a long relationship. And like you said, it's the scariest thing when you're single.
It is the scariest thing when you're single.
And you have to sit and be like, oh, shit, like, what do I like?
Right.
Like, I only knew Natalie in a relationship.
Me too.
What Natalie in a relationship likes. All my weekends were booked and centered around the dates I was going to go on with my partner.
Right.
The things we were going to do together. Shared interests that we developed, but what are my interests?
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
and I didn't know.
And I went through that. You know, I went through that firsthand. I was in a 10-year relationship.
Oh, wow.
10-year relationship. I was married back before my marriage now. And when that relationship ended, I went through a really big transition, and Natalie saw firsthand, my mother, everybody, because I forgot my identity. It's like automatically when you're with somebody, their likes become your likes.
Yes.
You lose yourself without wanting to lose yourself.
Yep.
And I was so far gone. I wasn't even like, I would look in the mirror, I didn't even recognize who the hell I was anymore because it wasn't me. Even the way I would speak, my attitude, my demeanor, I became a person that I didn't like. Even when I would talk to my sister and when I would talk to my mother, I was so angry.
Yeah.
And I didn't know why, but I became that way because that's how my partner
was.
was.
A very angry individual.
But my partner used to bring the bad out of me.
Yes.
So I was always angry. I was always negative. I was always on the defense because that's how I had to be to survive that relationship. Yeah. That when I was by myself, I was like, oh my God, like, look at what happened to me. Mm-hmm. Like, I lost myself. Yeah. Hell no. I need to bring that girl back.
Yeah.
And that's what I did.
And it was great. Like, you getting to know you helped me get to know you too.
Right.
Like, that's my sister.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, it was fun. We had so much fun.
Girl. Yes,
we really did.
All right, wait. All right. I'm going to piggyback off of what y'all saying right now. All right. So, one thing I never like to date someone that just got out of a relationship. And I always try to encourage them to be single because you have to, like you're saying, you got to know yourself. You have to reset who you are as a person.
Absolutely. Yeah.
When you're single. So like, even though I got out of a relationship a couple years ago, I don't have any desire of being with anyone, any kind of relationship now, because I'm still just being me and just like relearning who the hell I am. But people don't do that. They'll jump from one to the next.
Yes.
And it's like, yo, how the hell can you be with someone and you still hold on to like, you're still holding on to even like just memories or just little things from your previous relationship. You wouldn't even it's like a computer. Sometimes you gotta hit the fucking restart button on your whole fucking body.
If you find yourself doing that, like still thinking of like the memories with an individual and all this other stuff, you're not ready.
You're not ready.
No way.
Absolutely.
You're cloudy.
You know what my mother had told me? When you're able to tell your story without crying about it, you're over it. Yeah. You're over it.
And when you're not always talking about it.
And when you're not always...
Because I find myself that I talk to people and they're constantly talking about their ex. Constantly. You're not over it.
Oh, but I'm over it. No, you're not.
No, you're not.
You're not over it.
Because we've been talking for 5 minutes and for 5 minutes you started talking about your ex. You're not.
You're not over it.
But you know when I did realize that I was happy being single? One day I was standing in my living room and I was listening to music. And I was drinking wine by myself.
And it felt good, right?
And I was dancing in my living room and I was like, oh, I'm happy.
Yes.
Ooh, I'm happy by myself.
Yes.
That was a moment for me. I was like, wow, I can't believe it. I did it. And I felt like...
And it feels like an achievement. Like
it
I felt good.
Feel like an achievement.
Like I had oh my God. I loved it. Not that I love being single, but I love the fact that I found myself again.
Yes, that's what it is. And then that's when you start to realize that now you can have that addition.
Exactly.
Like now you could bring someone into your life.
Because you're complete by yourself. You're not looking for somebody to complete you.
Yep.
I always say you got to be complete within yourself. And people think, I'm searching for happiness. No, you got to be happy with you before you could be happy with somebody else.
You know what's another thing?
Don't try to find a happiness with the next person to make you get over that.
Because then when that person's in a bad mood,
I was just about to say that.
So when they argue with you, you're gonna be. Whenever they're off, you're gonna be off.
Right. Yeah. And that's not good.
Another thing I called myself was, being happy with the thought that it was gonna work out, not with the individual, but with the thought that okay, I have this person, I'm getting what I want, I'm getting into a relationship, but it wasn't even, I didn't even like this person. Right. What am I doing? That's how I knew I was like, I need to be single for a little bit.
You just felt like the relationship meant something.
Yeah.
Like it meant you were complete and things were going to be okay just because you had somebody next to you. Yeah. And they weren't even the person.
And they weren't even the person for you. There was no substance.
You know what's the crazy thing about me? I've been in situations and relationships where I knew that I didn't have a future with the person.
Right. And then and doesn't that make you feel like, damn, I was wasting my time? That's like a waste.
I mean, I want to say I gained some experience, and we want to be positive
about it. You learn what you don't like.
Yeah,
or the person
I learned what I didn't like.
You were able to learn that you was just with them to, I guess, pass time.
Or, and I learned that, you know, within me, that at the end of the day, that's what I was doing. But I didn't see a future with these people. And it's like, what am I doing?
Exactly.
Like saying yes to an engagement knowing that I wasn't getting married.
Yeah, why? Right.
I don't know why I did that. I don't know why I did that. You know,
that's crazy.
That's tough.
Yeah.
That's a big commitment.
Yeah.
If you would have followed through, then what?
I don't know.
You would have been
I wasn't gonna follow.
She wasn't gonna. You knew you weren't gonna follow through.
That's even worse.
Or going behind my partner's back and getting on birth control because I didn't want to have their children.
Oh, ooh.
Yeah, I was doing wild shit. Let me tell you something. Yeah, because I knew I didn't see a future with that person.
Actually, that was smart of you, though.
That was smart of you. But then it's not.
That's not cool for the other individual.
Because they're like, oh, we're gonna make a baby tonight, and you're like, yeah, we are.
You ain't making no baby.
Ain't no baby
over here. That birth control don't work.
No, and it wasn't even a pill.
Oh, it was like the IUD thing,
like an implant in my arm. So it wasn't gonna happen for like 5 years.
Yeah, it's over.
Like, you know, we've been trying. Well, damn, how long y'all been trying for? Wow, she's just
the whole thing in her arm.
Yeah.
Damn.
So.
Oh wow.
But I'm not like that no more. Okay. I have self-developed.
Yo, all right, wait. I got a question then. All right,
Here we go.
All right.
I want to hear this.
So y'all in that relationship, you and that person, right? You're being deceitful, I guess, right? Is that?
It is deceitful. It is very deceitful.
You found out he cheats on you. Are you upset the same way? Like, does he have a right to be like? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the?
Oh, is that the same?
No, it's not the same.
It's not the same.
It's not the same because you're bringing a whole
well. I'm gonna say something and it's whatever. But first of all, that person didn't know that I was preventing the pregnancy.
He found out after
he cheated.
Even if he found out,
it's not the same thing.
It's not the same
You're gonna
thing.
cheat after you find that out, or you could just have a conversation.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like
I've never cheated, by the way.
So the point of that is cheating like just grounds for breakup, right?
Not necessarily. Some people get past it.
Some people get past it. I don't get past that shit.
You asking two different questions now.
I'm not that kind of bitch.
Because it's a lie, it's deceit. Basically, that's the whole thing. Like, someone's lying to you either way. Now, you're gonna make it work with that person? Like, that's...
They might want to make it work afterwards if he finds out about it.
I could see a couple working out the fact that the girl was preventing pregnancy.
It's my body, my choice.
Right, she just wasn't ready. That's different because bringing a child into this world is a lot of responsibility, and she just wasn't ready for that.
That's fine.
That's not on the same level of
no.
Of bringing another person
and cheating on me behind my back.
Where it's like, yo. Oh, like you were saying, like, oh yeah, we're making this baby tonight, and it's like, oh yeah, nigga, you think you're making this baby, so it's a different because now you're fucking with his head, like you know, so that's why I mean it's a little bit more.
But I feel like it's different. The cheating is different. I've never cheated.
I think you're trying to compare apples to oranges.
No,
a
lie and a lie.
There's levels. It's levels. They're unlocking levels.
But one is citrusy and one is
no. Deceit is there.
No,
fine. Deceit is there, but the level of hurt is different. I think the way you will handle the situation is different too.
Right.
Let
her say her piece.
Because if a man finds out that his girl is on birth control because she doesn't want to have a baby, like you said, it's a conversation, and you could get to the bottom of why
the birth control is
why that happens,
right?
And then you may get into a deeper conversation of, you know what, maybe I did it
want to
because
feel comfortable afterwards and have a baby,
or you might say, you know what. Now, if we being real, I just didn't feel like I don't think there's a future here, and I don't want to continue having a baby with you,
right?
Or whatever. But cheating is like
A conversation can be had afterward.
A conversation could be had, but I feel like...
What is the conversation going to be?
Yeah.
You brought a whole nother person?
What was your reason?
You tripped.
Like, come on.
Because
I felt neglected or because of this?
Yes.
That's bullshit. No, that's bullshit.
Because if you feel neglected, that's easier to talk to your partner about, like, hey, I'm feeling neglected here. You don't have to fuck someone because you feel neglected.
Right. Yeah. You couldn't tell me that you felt neglected. You couldn't tell me that maybe, you know, I needed to do something to make you feel wanted as a man or to make you feel more of a man.
Yeah, like, men are so vocal about so much other shit.
Seriously.
And then when it comes to that, because they don't want to seem weak or they don't want to seem like they're asking for too much.
I didn't feel wanted. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
There's levels to it, though. It's
Men have egos.
It's like stealing a chocolate bar out of a candy store versus stealing a bank. Like
robbing a bank.
Come on.
Right.
Sorry.
Why is
It was your question.
You asked your question and we're answering it.
It's just podcast topics. Like, Jesus Christ.
No, but I get where you're coming from, but it's not the same thing. It's not.
Yeah, it's not the same. I'm trying to think because I know there's going to be someone who can think of like the counterpoint. So I'm trying to like think, but I can't. I can't justify that.
A lie is a lie.
Because I feel like if you cheat, it's something within you.
Right.
You either don't, or maybe that's the same as the birth control thing too. She don't want to be in a relationship. You probably cheated because you probably don't want to be in a relationship either.
And neither one of y'all didn't know how to tell the other person that y'all
so
weren't good for one another.
maybe that's how it could be the same.
All right. If we take it there, but that's a stretch.
Do you feel attacked?
I think it's a stretch.
I'm sorry.
I just don't see how. I think both are wrong.
No, they're both wrong.
They're both wrong.
We're not arguing that.
I never said I was right in that part.
Right.
I wasn't trying to attack you.
Yeah.
Because I would think that the female, like, you were wrong in that sense too.
Yeah, of
because,
course.
You know,
Absolutely.
of course. But I just feel like she said there's levels.
Yeah, but also having a baby with someone is like, that's
It's
a commitment.
That's a big deal.
That's a big fucking deal.
You can't
You're bonded with
and
that
not for nothing. Like, not for nothing.
The baby back. Like,
I mean, I should have probably never had gotten into the relationship in the first place. Now that I'm looking, but you know, you witness how the person is with their current children.
Yeah.
Right.
And then that puts you into perspective. What if I bring an additional child into this world? How would that make a difference? It wouldn't.
Right.
It wouldn't, you know?
Yeah, they're not just gonna magically become better.
Yeah, they're not gonna become a better parent
just because you were the
they
best
have 5
woman.
children this time.
And you're not gonna be the one to make them the better parent because no, that's not. And some women do that. They think, oh, I'm different. No,
he really loves me.
He loves me, right?
Like, hold on.
I'm gonna be the one. No, you're not. You're gonna be just like his other baby mothers, and you're gonna have a child with him for the rest of your life. That's it.
Wow. All right. So, getting back to
Anthony's subject set topic is over.
Right, I know, right? All right. So we were gonna talk about confidence, right? So now, does the level of confidence that you have, does that determine the company you keep? So like, will it make you surround yourself around people who have more confidence than you or less confidence than you?
I guess it depends how comfortable you are with yourself, because some people, they're not. I know some people that they can't be around other people that can hold their own because it makes them feel less than.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, and then I know some people that they can only be around people that can handle themselves because they can, and they need to hide behind those people to like help them, you know, navigate, you know, what they want to do. So I just think it depends on the person.
It depends. Honestly. It definitely depends on the person. But I also feel like there has to be some type of balance. Like, for an example, sometimes high level of confidence can bring some arrogance.
Right.
And I feel like some people have to
tone it down.
You know, and I don't mean like in a hating way. Like, for example, if you're much more successful than I am, you know, I'm proud of you, whatever the case might be, if we're friends. But I feel like sometimes, and I know people like this, like they'll do too much. Like they're constantly talking about their career, constantly talking about this beautiful house that they have and this wonderful BMW 2022 BMW.
Like kind of just like showing off and throwing it in your face.
It's kind of like a showing off kind of thing.
Right.
And it's like, even though you don't want to be a hater, it's like you got to tone it down a notch.
Yeah.
Because everybody
like,
in the room, you also got to read the room.
Exactly.
Read the room. You know, if you're the only homeowner in the room and when you're constantly talking about this beautiful house you own, not that I'm saying that you shouldn't. You shouldn't.
But it doesn't have to be every single time.
But then when it's every single time, either that or just when you're gonna have that conversation, have it with other homeowners.
Yeah.
You know, they'll probably help you out with the wallpaper that you want to put up. I can't help you with that because I rent. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I wouldn't even know what to tell you.
Exactly.
Right.
You know, and again, I always, in all my friendships and relationships, and when my family members have that kind of success, I always applaud it. I'm always for it because this is the type of energy that I want, and I want it for myself as well.
Exactly.
But when you're doing the most, it's almost like you're being arrogant.
Yes.
You gotta read the room. And you're making other people around you feel bad.
Right.
And then you're like, oh no, because they're hating on me and all this other stuff. They're not hating on you.
No.
It's just you're probably making them feel less than.
Yeah. You're making them feel like you're
And
better than them. And
some people, not for nothing, are content with what they have.
right.
You can't be attacking me because I don't have a 2022 car.
Maybe
or
I don't want a
have-
2020 car
or I don't have an $800,000 house or whatever the case might be. I'm probably content with what I have.
Right.
But when you're constantly doing that, it's almost like you're nitpicking.
Oh, that's a good point.
That is a good
So
point.
it does depend on not only you, but also the people around you.
Yeah.
What their confidence makes them do. How arrogant are they going to be with that confidence?
Because I'm very confident,
Yeah.
even with what I
Confident too.
have.
Exactly.
Very confident. Can I do more? Absolutely, I could do more.
So do you feel like the people who are arrogant, are they really confident? Because I always felt like if you have to constantly show off and talk about all your accomplishments all the time,
You're doing that to make up for.
You're kind of
You're doing that for yourself.
Yeah, you're overcompensating
You're
for
doing
something.
that for yourself.
Yeah.
You're overcompensating for some aspect in your life that you're not happy
And
with.
then those people, I think they purposely surround themselves around people who probably they consider less than them, so they can feel good even more about themselves.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Oh, I didn't see that like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely agree with
Yeah,
that.
because why aren't you in a room with the same exact people that have what you have?
Because I guess we're the bums that you just be chilling with to make yourself feel good. Like, what the fuck?
Exactly.
The bums.
The bums. Right. I'm just saying, because it's like, damn, like, if life is so good, then you should be around a different social circle.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how I see it. So now, is it okay to be emotionally disconnected from your relationship or friendship if you're focusing on becoming a better you?
I would say not so much in your relationship with your partner.
Can you be in a relationship and still focus on becoming a better version of yourself?
Yes, you can. Absolutely.
Because some people would say no, be single
because you
only.
shouldn't allow your relationships to define you. And you should be able to be in a relationship with somebody who supports the fact that you want to be a better you.
Absolutely.
Because that means that you would want to do that for them.
Yeah.
Emotional detachment is negative.
Yeah.
I find that emotional detachment is negative. Even when you're working on yourself, because you should be able to have people around you that are a good support system. If you don't, then obviously you'll cut those people off.
Right, right.
You know, as you're leveling up, if you gotta cut people off, you do that. But emotional detachment is not good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always feel like there's no excuse. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, so you guys could correct me, but I think there's no excuse to be emotionally detached. I think you should be able to say, listen, I need some time, or I'm working on this. If you can't maintain that relationship or friendship, you should be able to say that. That whole like going ghost because you're working on yourself. And sometimes people are they're too like distressed that they can't give you a response. And you could take 30 seconds, real quick, a quick phone call or a text like, listen, right now, this is what I'm focusing on. I'm gonna hit you up when I'm ready. This is
what I'm going through.
But that has to do with maturity.
Yes.
And not a lot of people can do that.
A lot of people can do that.
A lot of people become so self-absorbed in themselves that they forget that you have other people that care about you.
Yeah.
And maybe
or
are worried about you. And they're
not confrontational.
Exactly.
Because that's gonna start something. Believe it or not. That's gonna
yes,
start
it might start something. But then it's like you could at least know that you said something. You didn't leave them in the dark. That's my only thing. Like that whole like poor communication to me is so like it's just a turn off.
Then have the audacity to be like, well, why are they upset? They're upset because you cut them off and didn't even tell them anything.
Yeah.
Come on.
Like now, if you told me that and I'm wilding and I'm not respecting that boundary that you placed,
different.
That's different. Then leave me on red.
Yeah.
But you could at least give me that. Like if I ever meant anything to you, you could at least tell me
in a relationship
something.
or friendship. At least tell me what you didn't think that we were that good of friends or in anything. Then you couldn't just share that with me.
Yeah. Because I get it if you like emotionally you just can't give.
And that's okay. And that's okay.
That's okay.
That's okay.
But you have to be able to say that.
Yeah. But even when you're like working on yourself, eventually you need anyone, family member, partner, whatever the case might be, like when you're stressed or you're overwhelmed that you need to speak to. You know, your job doesn't define who you are. That's not your identity.
It's not.
And you have to learn to like embrace the value of like all the relationships.
Yeah, everything.
You know, every part of your life.
Every part of your life, right?
Because your career is a part of your life. Your family is a part of your life. And you have to remember your career's there, but your parents grow old.
Right.
Your children grow old. Friendships grow apart. Your friends will move.
Right.
And then that time that you could have had with those people, that's no longer there.
No, you cannot
get that back.
Right.
You know?
Absolutely.
So it's like, it's great. You're working on yourself, but don't forget, you know, I grow old. I might move, you know?
Yeah.
So you gotta
don't
think
forget,
about that.
life is short. I may not be here. Anything can happen.
Oh,
God forbid, but anything can
believe
happen.
me, I know that.
Yeah, I know.
So it's like, come on, you can't take. I hate when people take their friends for granted or just take anything in their life for granted because they feel like, oh, that person is always going to be there. No.
Yeah.
That person may not always be there, or your situation may not be there tomorrow. Even your career, like, oh, my career's that may not be there tomorrow either. And at the end of the day, what are you gonna do?
You gotta humble yourself.
Who you gonna lean on? Who's gonna be there for you? The same people you gave your ass to kiss? No, like you have to think about that.
Yeah.
Because they might not be that welcoming when you come back.
I feel like sometimes people obsess over their job or like obsess in their career. Yeah. That's also
or even
not
obsessed
a great thing.
on working on themselves too.
Yes.
Like I remember when I went through my journey of self-discovery and whatever. There was a lot of people that they took it in a negative way. They didn't either. They weren't supportive of what I was trying to do for myself, and I could tell by me telling them, "Oh no, but you're fine the way you are." No, I'm not. If I'm telling you that I'm not fine the way that I am, it's because I know I'm not fine. And they're telling me, "Oh no, but you're okay," because they wanted to see me down and out. They wanted to see me in that same stagnant because it made them feel good to see me that way.
Yeah.
And those were people that eventually I had cut out of my life because I was like, you're not really my friend then. If you can identify that I'm going through something and I need to focus on myself and you're trying to keep me in that same spot, then fuck you. I don't need you in my life, you know? And I ended up cutting out a lot of people. And they were like, oh, look at her. She thinks she's all that. Yeah, I am, actually, because I got to do what's best for me. And if you're not going to understand that, then I don't need you in my life.
Yeah.
That's it. So... yeah.
I do have one more question before we get out of here. Is marriage, this is kind of whatever, is marriage a goal? Is marriage the ultimate goal?
For me, it's a deal breaker.
If they don't want to.
Yeah. I want that type of
Well, I am married, so clearly. But that was something that I wanted with my partner. It wasn't like that needed to be the goal. It just happened to be that that's where we went and we were happy and that's the choice that we both wanted for us.
I want that bond with someone. I want that type of love with someone, you know? If we ever get there, it's because it was meant to be there. Exactly. Not that I'm going to grab any random person and just get married, but
and settle
I
for
want
anything.
that stability. I want that type of love, you know?
I think for me... All right, so growing up, right? You know, mommy and papi, they were big on marriage. But I think the way we saw it was like marriage was the only way that we could leave the house.
Right. And that's why I was married before this relationship.
Okay.
Because I didn't know better. I was young and I felt like I was with this person for such a period of time that I felt like, okay, that's the next step. And that's the only way I'm going to be able to leave the house, pretty much.
So I think to me growing up, it was like, I knew growing up from young.
Forced?
Yeah, like I know, not even for, well, kind of, but I knew growing up from young that I didn't want to be married and I didn't want to be married in order to leave. Okay. Like from a young age, I was like, oh, I can't wait to live on my own. Like I want my own apartment. I want to live by myself.
And you know what? That became acceptable with mommy now.
Yeah.
And I love my mother to death. I love her to death.
No, of course.
But it has to do with just how she was brought up.
Because back then it was like if you didn't get married, like you had to, like you, because like women don't live alone. Like you need a man.
That was the only way that she was able to leave her house, pretty much.
But it's crazy that you say that because you guys come from a family where at home you have mom and dad. I didn't have that. You know, my mom was a single mom. Well, I had my stepdad in the house, but he wasn't my father.
Right.
But I didn't see that marriage that that home like that and I want that.
And like I always wanted it too, but I felt like I feel like because we saw that, and because that's what we were always told, like even if we weren't in a relationship with somebody, it was just like that's who you're with and that's it, and we couldn't go on dates and we couldn't talk to other people. It was like
I see what you're
like
saying.
we weren't even allowed to
look like
date.
hoes, so
Right.
it's like we're not gonna have you looking like a hoe. So that's your boyfriend. That's it.
That's it. So like we were never able to date. We were never able to, like, you know how some people could be single. Like even just the thought of us living on our own, that was like, oh my God.
Yeah, like I remember being young and telling my mother, you know, I want my own apartment. I want to live by myself. And she was like, women don't do that. Like you gotta be with a partner to help you with the bills or to love you. Like you're not gonna go to sleep. Like somebody needs to hold you at night.
I'm not gonna front though. I feel like because I'm single.
Yeah.
In the past, I don't feel it now. At this current time, I felt like I was seen as a failure.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because I didn't have a partner. And it's like, really? That's what defines a woman? A man defines a woman?
And I
that's
just
strange
think,
for me.
I think that's
like, I'm
just
holding
how,
my own weight. You can see I've been holding my weight for years.
Yeah.
It
Paying my own bills. I got my
Yeah.
education. I'm raising my child. But I'm seen as the failure because I'm not married.
Yeah. So it was like that. So like, I think unfortunately you had to go through what you went through.
So pretty much after I went through my whole situation, because one, we should have never got married. I say that now, and I'm pretty sure he probably feels the same way. We should have never got married, because looking back at it now, we're happy the way that things are. Our son is great and he's happy. He's a great father or whatever. But everything was kind of like forced. It kind of just felt like that was the next step.
It was pushed on you.
It was like pushed. Like, okay, so what's it now? You finished college. You guys are still together. When are y'all getting married? Kind of thing. And after, you know, the breakup and everything happened or whatever, and my mother saw everything that I had went through, she was like, damn, you know, I feel bad, because maybe if I wasn't that way with you growing up and telling you that you couldn't leave the house and you couldn't do this, then maybe you would have gotten to see what was out there, and you would have gotten to live on your own and experience being an adult and date and stuff, that you wouldn't have settled for something that wasn't good for you.
Mm-hmm. But I do feel like you and I share something in common, and it's the first child.
Yeah.
You know, when you first become a parent, you know, and you're dealing with that first child, it's all new to you.
All new.
All new. So we
no.
get the shit end of the stick for a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Not for a little bit, for a lot of it.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, unfortunately for her, but fortunately for me,
right?
My mother had saw like
what happened the first time around.
And so like Priscilla couldn't go on girls trips in her early 20s.
I never had girls
She couldn't
trips
go on vacation with her partner either.
Until I was done. Like, it was like a big argument just for me to want to go on a vacation with my partner, and I was 25 years old.
Yeah, and me at 25, I was out. Right? I was traveling with my friends, with my boyfriend at the time.
It had a lot to do with just me talking to my mother and telling her, like, and she knows this till this day, because I tell her, Ma, just the fact of how you were with me, I don't want you to be that way with Natalie, because look at everything that I went through.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'm not saying it's her fault either, because I didn't have to get married. Yeah. I didn't have to do everything. Yeah. I didn't have to. She didn't force me. But I did that because I saw it as a way out.
Yeah.
To be on my own, to experience being an adult, because I felt like I wasn't an adult unless I had my own place, and I wasn't going to have that unless I had the situation. So it caused her to open her eyes and say, you know what? She's right.
Yeah.
And Natalie live her best life, and
I
do what I have to do, and I'm happy for her.
But that's why I asked this question, because like now I'm kind of seeing how, like, if I get married, cool, great, but if I get married like 10 or 15 years from now, I don't care. Like, I'm not pressed for marriage. I don't care about it like I used to. Yeah, like for me now, it's like I knew from when I was young, my ultimate goal was to have my own place and have independence. Right. So now that I have it, I'm just like, I made it. Like, I feel accomplished. I feel good about myself. If I get married, cool, but it's not going to be something that I feel like I need this. It's going to complete me, kind of thing. So for me, it's just like whatever.
And now with my husband, now like I am in this and I know what marriage is. You know what I mean? Like, I know that we have this bond, unbreakable bond, and I love him. I'm happy, and we have our children, and we're living the dream. Like, for me, you know?
Yeah.
And I didn't feel that before. Like, I feel that now. And
so now you know it's right for you.
Yes, it has to be right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's
right
what
for
I
me.
want.
And the marriage, like, I appreciate the marriage. I appreciate being our home, just everything about it. Like, I just appreciate everything about it. And before, I really feel like my past experiences is what got me to this point.
Yeah.
That even when he proposed, I knew I was ready. Before he even asked the actual question,
she was saying yes.
I said yes. I was going crazy, and they know because I knew that just the type of person that he is that's what I wanted.
Yeah,
that was what I was looking for. So
Yeah.
everything happens for a reason.
Any last minute thoughts, guys? Because we're done.
I think this was great.
It was.
right,
Do you guys feel like more calm now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me give you guys the recap from the guy's perspective, right? This may take like 30 minutes.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm
What?
joking.
I thought you said 30 seconds.
Nah, I'm joking.
What?
I was joking.
Oh, you
I
don't
said,
have to.
I said it might take like 30 minutes.
All right, so
I'm
we're
joking.
just gonna use this song to take us out real quick. You hear it? All right. So anyway, thank you guys for joining us. Like always, like, share, comment, subscribe.
Pass the hookah.
Pass the hookah when you out. And that's it. So that's it. Bye.